Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Give me the light, give me the light. Thank you very much. Today is Spies in Disguise. It is a 2019 film. It's an hour and 45 minutes long. I gotta stand in front of him. He's gonna take all my light. Come on, give me my light. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is a film that was released by 20th Century Fox in the waning days of its independence before Disney bought it. And I think it premiered on Christmas Day. And it stars Will Smith. And if you scroll really far down on the IMDb, like it's not even the first few things. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, is the main character. That's Spider-Man. That's Tom Holland right there. He's literally the main character beyond Will Smith's secret agent, and even he's kind of buried in the credits here. Lance. Okay, so that out of the way, those are two main leads in this story, but there's a whole lot of others. I'm going to get to those in a minute, but to give you an idea of what this is about, without any spoilers, I want to encourage you to see this. It surprised me because I didn't see it in the theaters. And, it's from Blue Sky Studios, the same people who brought you all the Ice Age films, and you know that because Scratch shows up in the very beginning as part of the logo, and he's just bouncing around doing his Scrat thing. Anyway, this is a big, hey, what if, you know what? You know who should be the next James Bond? Well, I think Will Smith. Why? Okay, he's not British. Okay, Tom Holland is British, but he does his American accent. It's not exactly Queen's, but he's definitely American kid. And we get to meet him when he's young, and we also get to meet him when he's older, working for a secret agent agency as a tech guru. He knows how to create all these gadgets as, like Q in James Bond films. And Lance is very much James Bond, played by Will Smith. The thing is, well, James Bond might be, a secret agent. Lance seems very much out there. Everybody on the crew knows and loves him. He is like the favorite guy in the company. And on the other hand, Walter here, played by Tom Holland, he's not so celebrated. His gadgets are really kind of weird. And he's called that constantly throughout the film because he goes for a non-lethal solution in most cases. Lance is a secret agent, and he goes up against some really bad guys. But from the very first moment we meet him, he is as suave as anything. He takes down his enemies just without effort, until he meets a bad guy who kind of uses his vanity and his confidence against him. This all leads to, I realize that I don't want to give too much away, but it's seen in the trailers, and right here, by the way, that's also Lance. At some point, I'll be very careful how I say this. At some point, Lance gets turned into a pigeon by someone. You could probably guess, but he's not too happy about it. His transformation and the subsequent dealing with being a pigeon is funny stuff. It makes for really funny stuff for a guy who's all about his body and his looks and his strength and his just knowing how to do the right thing at the right time. 3 ounces of pressure against a certain nerve will, incapacitate his enemies. He knows everything. Timing is everything. He is in full control of every situation he's in. Now he's a pigeon. As a pigeon, he's in a whole new world, and Walter does what he can to help him. And they run into a number of other people along the way. The problem is that Lance, with the help of Walter, needs to take down this bad guy who was so far the only person to stop him from completing a successful mission. But at the same time, though, the entire agency that they work for is after them because they believe that Lance is the bad guy, for reasons you'll understand if you see the film. It's about as detailed as I'm going to get with the plot. So it's lots of action. Lots of comedy. It's a soundtrack that, of course, includes a song by Will Smith. Yeah, it's not getting jiggy with it, but it's catchy, and it'll stick with you for a little bit. But this is the kind of thing that if your kids had gone to see it in the theaters with you, or you already have it on DVD, or they have found it on Disney Plus for some reason on their own, you would probably end up having to watch it with them 1,000 times a week. It's the kind of thing. It's just enough crazy, silly fun, especially with the pigeons that are involved in this, that it has enough gross out humor, enough just weird silliness, uncomfortable silliness, that kids will just want to watch it over and over and over again. And maybe even quote it. And you, as an adult, I'm assuming you're an adult. I can't imagine kids watching my videos. I can't imagine adults watching my videos, but here we go. I highly recommend this film. If you like James Bond, no, it's not a James Bond film. It's a James Bond comedy, and with pigeons. If James Bond got turned into a pigeon and was a bit more vain, it's definitely not okay, we're not going off a Daniel Craig James Bond, okay? It's got, even the opening theme for Spies in Disguise is totally just pulled right from James Bond. Just the sequence that you're familiar with just about any James Bond film. It's a lot less sexy, but it's still got the same kind of vibe, let's say. Yeah, action's great, the character's great. The voices, Ben Mendelsohn plays the bad guy. If you know him as Talos the Skrull from Captain Marvel and the Secret Invasion series and a bunch of other stuff, but he's got a great bad guy voice. He's just fantastic. So, but also, like, in part of the team, at first you think it's Holly Hunter. No, it's not. It's Reba McEntire doing the voice of the agency chief. She's the one in charge. But she also has other employees working for her that are essentially Nebula, Ann Perkins from Parks and Recreation, and DJ Khaled. Okay, it's Karen Gillan, DJ Khaled, and why can't I say her name? Oh my god. So yeah, I'm sorry. Now I just totally blanked on her name. But, Ann Perkins. Come on. And I hate this. Tom Holland is like 50th in line on this thing. Rashida Jones. I know Rashida Jones. Come on. Rashida Jones is pretty great in this as well. And Karen Gillan gets to keep her Scottish accent in this one. She's not doing an American accent, which is great. There's so many other names. I don't even... Masaoka, if you remember him from Heroes, he plays a Japanese mob boss, a Yakuza boss. So you won't necessarily know that's him, but yeah, he's pretty great in this. So yeah, it's hard for me to recommend this too much, but it's got enough of it hits right home for me with the weird and the fun. And that's what matters. And it could have been just a standard kid spy film, but adults, I think, can really enjoy this too. As long as you can let your hair down and not get too upset when they clearly play off a Bond and they don't, and you're not under the impression that they're disrespecting Bond. If they'd called this James Bond the Pigeon, yes, you could be very offended, I guess, if you want to waste that kind of energy, but it's not the case. But yeah, if you like these kind of spy action adventures, that and just the weirdness that you would expect from the Blue Sky people and everything else. And Will Smith, of course, does his great, just calm, cool, collected, and freaking out. He can move fluidly between those levels. And Tom Holland, they must have motion captured him at some points, because some of the facial expressions on this, you're looking at Tom Holland, even though you hear the voice. you feel like you're looking at Tom Holland in some of these weird, uncomfortable silences. There's a moment where they just cut back and forth between him and Will, and you're like, this feels like he's having an uncomfortable conversation with Tony Stark. Yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. It's a lot, but it's honest and it's true. Here we go. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 265. What have we got for 265? 265. Oh, speaking of Spider-Man, what sucks is that we're not going from the first one, and we're not doing Tom Holland's Spider-Man. This is one of the lesser-loved Spider-Mans, even though I love Andrew Garfield. I'm just going to put that out there. Andrew Garfield's great. This is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So yeah. It is the most controversial of the, well, I don't know. Spider-Man 3 was pretty controversial too. But, yeah. We'll see. I'm going to watch Spider-Man. And we're going to watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And I'll be back here to talk about it tomorrow.